Yo, what's good everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be breaking down the NHL DFS slate for Wednesday, January 25th. We got ourselves a 5-game slate here tonight where I'm going to go through a couple of my favorite line stacks, some of my favorite individual plays, and some of my favorite value plays. And of course we'll wrap up the video talking a little prize picks. With that being said, let's dive into my spreadsheet here. And we're going to kick things off here like we always do in the top left-hand corner with those highest implied game totals, where you can see 2 of these games are coming in with an implied total of 6.5 goals, and then the remaining 3 games all coming in at 6 goals even. And take a look down here at the Vegas odds, where you can see each team who's favored to win tonight. And again, here's a quick little schedule update for the remainder of the week. Got an NHL DFS video out here today, Thursday, and Friday. With that being said, let's dive into a couple of line stacks that I like here for tonight, starting with that first line for the Edmonton Oilers. You can see I put there in the notes off to the right-hand side. The Oilers are continuously shuffling their lines. Never seems like they can get anything to stick, but we did see these 3 here, McDavid, Nugent Hopkins, and Hyman, play together on about 19% of the 5-on-5 shifts last game. Worst case scenario with these 3 here is all 3 play up on the #1 power play, and they have a great matchup tonight at home against the Columbus Blue Jackets, a team that's allowed 3.89 goals per game this year, the 3rd most in the NHL. Now, ironically, the Edmonton Oilers have scored the 3rd most goals in the NHL, largely due to the way that McDavid and Draisaitl play. McDavid 88 points here in 48 games, but Nugent Hopkins and Hyman have both been really solid this year themselves. Nugent Hopkins 22 goals, 35 assists, 57 points in 48 games. Hyman's got 24 goals, 32 assists, 56 points in 47 games. And then a cheaper line stack that I like here tonight is that first line for the Seattle Kraken. We got Beniers centering Sprong and Eberle. I got a great matchup at home here tonight against the Vancouver Canucks, and you probably just saw those numbers change in the notes off to the right-hand side. I did have to update those after last night's game against the Chicago Blackhawks because the Canucks are playing on back-to-back nights right now, and this is a team that's given up 3.91 goals per game this year, the 2nd most in the NHL, with the league's worst penalty kill that's hit at just a 66.7% rate. And all 3 of these guys here not only play big minutes together 5-on-5, but they all play up on that #1 power play too. Now folks, before we dive into some of my favorite individual plays here, if you could like this video and subscribe to the channel, I would greatly appreciate that. And don't forget, I am running that Discord channel too, and if you want to join that, there's a link to do so in the description below. We got a great group of people in there talking some hockey, starting to talk some NBA as well. Really, all sports are welcome there. Again, if you want to join that, there's a link to do so in the description below. And of course, we're talking some prize picks as well. Alright, now diving into some of my favorite individual plays here, we're going to kick it off with the forwards. And I quickly want to mention the notes off to the right-hand side. The Kraken and the Oilers are projecting to be popular targets here tonight on this 5-game slate. So if you're rostering those guys, you're going to need to find ways to make your lineups unique, finding some contrarian plays, or for example, doing a full power play stack like the Edmonton Oilers. I do think this game here between the Islanders and Senators, as well as the Rangers and Maple Leafs, has some sneaky upside. This game here between the Maple Leafs and Rangers could be low scoring by all means, but one guy that I do like is John Tavares. Again, just like I mentioned the other day, it's a nice pivot off of that first line with Austin Matthews, who is always going to be popular. Tavares will gain some ownership here tonight for sure, but at $6,800, he's playing much better here as of late than his price tag is currently showing. You can see in his past 10 games, he's racked up 6 goals, 7 assists, 13 points, while averaging around 4.5 shots on net per game. Now, I just mentioned I think there's some sneaky upside in that game between the Islanders and Senators here tonight, because neither one of those teams have played very well as of late. The Senators are 1-4-0 in their last 5 games, allowing 4.40 goals per game. That is the most in the NHL over the past 10 days. The Islanders are 1-3-2 in their past 6 games, allowing 3.67 goals per game. That's the 4th most in the NHL during that stretch. Now, on the Senators side of things here, I like targeting Stützle and Batherson. A lot cheaper than I thought they would be on this 5-game slate for starters. Both play up on that first line Panarin both play on that number 1 power play, which has been very good this year. The Senators actually have the 4th best power play, scoring at a 26.3% rate. Both these guys have been solid 5-on-5 as well, but I want you to take a look here at their power play numbers. You can see there both of them have had a lot of success there. Now, another player's price that I thought was just a little too cheap here tonight was Artemi Panarin of the New York Rangers, especially being that he's up on that first line right now with Zibanejad and Kreider. Obviously, he plays on the number 1 power play too, and you could roll out that first line as a line stack. It's tremendously correlated, and there's a lot of upside between those three. You could even do a little power play stack, mix in someone like Adam Fox, who we'll talk about here in just a little bit. Just last game between Panarin, Zibanejad, and Fox, they combined for 3 goals and 6 assists, 9 points, again showing you the upside that they have. And then I got Andrei Kuzmenko there of the Vancouver Canucks. Now, I will say I'm not overly excited to roster the Canucks players here tonight, but if I were to target them, it makes sense to target that number 1 power play, because the Seattle Kraken have really struggled on the penalty kill this year. In fact, just hitting at a 70.5% rate. That's the 2nd worst penalty kill in the NHL this season, just behind the Vancouver Canucks. Kuzmenko here has been really good here as of late, and really great all year long. 21 goals, 22 assists, 43 points in 46 games. He's playing down on the 3rd line right now with Elias Pettersson, but logs around 16 minutes per game. And like I said, he's been trending well here as of late too, with 6 goals, 5 assists, 11 points in his past 10 games. I would like him to shoot the puck a little bit more, but considering his price here at $4,800, he can definitely meet 3, 4, even 5x value at that price. Now, moving over here to the defensemen, and I'm not afraid to spend up for defensemen tonight. Adam Fox and Vince Dunn are my favorite 2 plays here. Thomas Chabot of the Ottawa Senators, I think, is in play, as well as Trouba of the New York Rangers. And you could even mix in Miro Heiskanen, considering his price at $5,500, but I don't necessarily love the matchup against the Carolina Hurricanes, who are one of the best defensive teams in the NHL. But with Adam Fox here and Vince Dunn, you probably know what I'm about to say, stacking them up with forwards on their number 1 power play. Let's start with Adam Fox here. He's been great all year long. That's continued here over his past 10 games, where he's racked up 3 goals, 10 assists, 13 points. You can see 3 power play assists there and averaging around 3 shots on net per game. Vince Dunn might be playing some of the best hockey of his career right now. 5 goals, 8 assists, 13 points over his past 10, averaging around 2.5 shots on net per game. And then I got Brady Shea here of the Carolina Hurricanes on the spreadsheet, but I will say the 2 to low 4K range wasn't necessarily my favorite. Really, the defenseman position on this 5-game slate is far from my favorite in general. I got a handful of guys that can definitely get you 3x value, or at least get you double-digit DraftKings points. Again, I put Shea on the spreadsheet here because he really does have some nice upside. Someone who can get you 15, 20 plus DraftKings points, plays around 21, 22 minutes per night on that number 2 power play and on the penalty kill. But really, any one of these guys I would be okay with if you're looking to spend down at this position. We got K'Andre Miller there of the New York Rangers, Pesce of the Carolina Hurricanes, Blankenberg if you're looking to get contrarian with the Columbus Blue Jackets, Mayfield of the Islanders, Giordano there of the Toronto Maple Leafs, Lindell of the Dallas Stars, and Soucy there of the Seattle Kraken has been playing on the number 2 power play, being that Justin Schultz is out, so I certainly don't mind that at his price. And then I got a few goaltenders here. Let's clear the air right away with Jake Ottinger and Frederik Andersen. Yes, I'm well aware they play against one another here tonight. They're kind of contradicting plays, but I do foresee this game being low scoring here tonight in general. 2 of the best defensive teams in the NHL. The Dallas Stars have allowed just 2.55 goals per game this year. That's the 2nd fewest in the NHL. Carolina Hurricanes have allowed 2.65 goals per game this year. That is the 7th fewest in the NHL. Now look, if you're looking to get contrarian here tonight, you can stack that game up. I just don't think I'm going to be doing that. I do like the defensive side of this game, hence the reason I like both of these goaltenders. Now, Ottinger here, he's been a top 5 goalie in the NHL this year with a goals allowed average of 2.22 and a save percentage of .925. Freddie here, he's won 4 straight games since returning from the IR with a save percentage of .941. You can see there that it is a push on the money line sitting at -110, so it's kind of a coin flip between these two. Might come down to how much money do I have left in my lineup, but either way, I do think both of these goalies are solid plays. And then we got Igor there of the New York Rangers, $7,300, just a little too cheap in my opinion. Yes, this is a tough road matchup, but Shesterkin and the Rangers have been very good on the road this year. You can see his record of 9-1-3 with a goals allowed average of 2.12 and a save percentage of .931, averaging close to 18.5 DraftKings points per game. And as always, going to wrap up this spreadsheet here with 3 low-priced options or sub-4K forward plays. For starters, I got 2 honorable mentions there in the notes too. Teravainen of the Carolina Hurricanes has really started to find his game here as of late. Järnkrok there of the Toronto Maple Leafs, someone who can definitely hit 3 to 5x value at that price. But I got JG Pageau here as the first guy on the spreadsheet. Plays on that third line for the New York Islanders, but plays up on the #1 power play. He's racked up 10 goals, 17 assists, 27 points in 49 games this year. He's also 4th on this Islanders team in expected goals. And again, the Senators have really slumped here as of late. They're allowing 4.40 goals per game with a penalty kill that's hit at just a 68% rate over their past 5. Next is Eeli Tolvanen there of the Seattle Kraken. Plays on that third line, but plays up on the #1 power play. He's got 5 goals, 2 assists, 7 points through 12 games ever since joining the Seattle Kraken, putting up 27 shots on net during that stretch as well. And then Kyle Palmieri getting back to the New York Islanders. He's currently playing on that second line right now, so I do like that. And he saw time on the #1 power play last game, being that Noah Dobson was out. He's got 6 goals, 4 assists, 10 points through 22 games this year. And again, this is more of an opportunity play and a good matchup against the Sens, especially considering his price. And then to wrap up this video here, want to talk a little prize picks with you guys. Off to a good start this week. We are currently 4-0-1 with our picks. Should be 5-0, but Casey Zizekas decided to be a goon in the third period the other day, so that one ended up pushing at 3.0. But hey, 4-0-1, we will definitely take that. Gonna look to keep that rolling here tonight, but they don't have the full set of picks out as I record here this morning. That's okay, because you guys know my plan of attack here anyway. I go through, do my research, and then let you know my final picks in a comment below on this video, and I'll be sure to pin that comment as well. But don't forget, I do post those picks in my Discord channel too, and if you want to join that, there's a link to do so in the description below. Now, for those of you who have not signed up for Prize Picks yet, but you want to get in on this action, I got a promo code that you should definitely take advantage of. When you're signing up, use my promo code GRIFF. GRIFF, and Prize Picks will give you all the way up to a $100 match deposit. Now again, you do not have to put $100 in either. If you want to put in 50, they'll match 50. You want to put in 20, they'll match 20. Hell, you got $5 laying around, you want to deposit that, they will match that $5, and again, will match anything up to $100 as long as you're using my promo code GRIFF. GRIFF upon signing up. Alright everyone, that is going to wrap up this video here for today. As always, thank y'all for taking the time out of your day to watch the content here on this channel. If you could like this video and subscribe to the channel, I would greatly appreciate that. Let's have ourselves a great day here, folks. Let's win some money on this 5-game slate. In the meantime, I'm out of here.